Hey guys, so this guide is going to show you a handy build that you can use to make it through the Belly of the Whale dungeon in Nobody Saves the World quite easily. So the big issue here is that enemies are going to shoot a lot of missiles at you every time you hit them. So the best way to get around this is to add other people or other things in the map that will take the brunt of the damage for you. So in this example, we're going to go with familiars and zombies. So you'll need to have the magician or the zombie unlocked. Now you'll get by with one or the other, but I use both for handy reasons, because the zombies will replicate themselves and the familiars are quite cheap to spam, and they'll cover your ass most of the time. So when a missile gets shot from an enemy and there's a familiar in the area, it won't always, but it is possible that the missile will aim towards the familiar rather than you. And if you have a dozen familiars running around and several zombies, chances are you're going to get no hits from any missiles at all. The only real issue you're going to struggle with is mana, because you can't restore mana. So here's what I did with the build. So heal familiars with your own damage. So when you do hit an enemy, you will restore the health of your familiars. If there's enough familiars running around, you may be able to hit enemies without even drawing any missile fire on you. So this is just a handy way to keep the familiars alive. Explosive familiars, thought it's handy just to get that little bit of extra damage to kill any enemies that are nearby. Nobody's that strong in this dungeon, so this will actually take out quite a few people. And scavenge being a useful one. Most of the enemies will drop health pieces, bits of food. So getting that mana back from all of the health items that they drop is also quite useful, so you can avoid having to use your base attack to actually get the mana. Hat-trick familiar, so drop the bunnies or the lions, and the zombie, which you get from the zombie. So I'll just demonstrate it here why it's so easy. So just smash a couple of familiars down, and as you can see, one or two missiles come my way, but for the most part I got away fairly easily here. My health is still maximum, my bunnies are going down a bit now, but and again, one bite, and now I have a couple of zombies floating around. It's all about getting as many of these sort of additional enemies as you can. So look, I bet if I just leave this alone, now there was a significant group of enemies there. I'll hit a few if I have to, but for the most part, you're going to get through a lot of these really tough encounters without having to do a whole lot of you have to expose yourself to a whole lot of trouble. And there we go, the group's gone, loads of health items were dropped, and my mana is pretty much restored again to where it was previously. So you can just spam this, it works really well for the final boss. There are a few instances, like the one we saw here with them kind of floating head guys, are in locations that aren't easy to get, whether like they're floating above the water. You can transform into a ghost maybe, or whatever you want to do, but I just tend to run past them. And they will come to the shore eventually if you run far enough away from them. So not really a big deal, or nothing worth getting too worried about. These areas you have no choice to fight, and you will have to occasionally deal with some of the floaty heads that are going to be stuck on the water. Again, you're just going to have to find your way around it. But this tactic seems to have worked very well for me so far. And you see, I'm doing a whole lot of work here, and my little hordes of minions are pretty much wiping everybody out. I'll do a couple of extra hits here and there. I'll take the health brunt, which means I get some mana back, and also heal the familiars at the same time. So there's lots of win-win options with this build. But there you go, not much else to show really. I think I've demonstrated enough that this build works quite well in this dungeon, and you should be able to get through it very easy. Obviously, upgrading the skills will improve your chances as best you can, reduce the amount of mana they cost and so on. You can get your magician up to tier S, it'll obviously make life very easy. So there you go, that's all you need to know. I hope this dungeon's a little bit easier for you now. Talk to you later.